one of the drivers that you got to work with is a driver and a person that I admire very much, and that was Davey Allison. And most people know Davey's story. You and him both native sons of Alabama and son of the legendary Bobby Allison. He grew into a legend in his own right, even in his career that sadly got cut short. But 1992 is one of the best seasons in NASCAR history, one of his greatest seasons behind the wheel and yours on the pit box. But that wasn't an easy year for you guys. I mean, Davey got injured and there was just all sorts of things that happened. You're in the midst of a tight championship battle. Just what was it like working with him overall, and especially that year where he showed, I mean, as much perseverance as I've ever seen a professional athlete show in just one season?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people linked Davey and I together because of both being from the Birmingham, Alabama area. But I never really got to know Davey around Birmingham because about the time he started doing some late model racing around Birmingham in the Southeast, I had already moved on to the Carolinas and become a part of NASCAR. I knew Donnie, his uncle, Bobby's brother. I knew of Bobby, but I really didn't know them that well. But when I joined there in 1991, Robert Yates Racing, that was a career-making move for me. It put Larry McReynolds on the NASCAR map. You know, I didn't join him till race number 5. We won 5 races. We won the All-Star race that year. And I think Davey ended up like third in the points. So we couldn't wait to get 1992 started. And lo and behold, we came out of the block winning the Daytona 500. But yeah, I think, Samuel, if you look at the entire history of NASCAR, you'd be hard-pressed to find a driver in a team that had so many highs and so many lows in one single season. Because we won 5 races, including the Daytona 500. We dominated the All-Star race for the second year in a row. We were leading the points headed into the final race of the year at Atlanta, ended up getting caught up in a wreck and ended up finishing third to Alan Quickie and Bill Elliott. But just the other things that happened that year, you know, we went through a period of time in the spring and early summer where we were winning one week, wrecking one week, winning one week, wrecking one week. And then one week we figured out how to do both in the same night at the All-Star race where we won, but that was the wreck with Kyle Petty at the checkered flag. Davey lost his grandfather in the spring that year, and he and his grandfather, Pop Allison, they were very, very close. Davey busted up some ribs at a wreck in Bristol in the early part of the season, and actually the next week we won North Wilkesboro, but Davey barely practiced the car. Jimmy Hensley sat in for us, just trying to give Davey as much healing time as possible. We had to start at the rear of the field because Jimmie qualified the car and went on to win the race. The wreck at Pocono, that was probably the turning point of our season. I know a lot of people say we lost the championship at Atlanta when we got caught up in that wreck, but in my book, we lost it at Pocono in July because after that, Davey had to have surgery. We spent the next 6 to 8 weeks just trying to get him comfortable in the car. It wasn't as much about how we're running or how the car's driving. It's just making him comfortable. So I felt like we lost the championship at Pocono. His brother Clifford was killed in an Xfinity Series accident in Michigan. There has never been, in my book, a driver and a team that went through so much. Again, a lot of highs, a lot of wins, a lot of success. But, man, the lowest of lows, including especially losing his grandfather and then his brother being killed at Michigan.